Good morning, guys, from the Philippines. Today I wanted to go over like what are some of your rights when you get pulled over by the traffic enforcers here. You know what, a lot of people come here on vacation, they rent like scooters and stuff, they ride around. Traffic enforcers are set up all over the place, and they will pull you over if they see you doing a violation, or you're wrong. They will pull you over, but you know what, you do have some rights here. First of all, one of the things I do want to tell you is helmets are required here in the Philippines. I know when you visit here, you do see a lot of people, Filipinos, riding around without helmets in certain areas, but it is required here. And not only that, you know what, I always wear a helmet here. I know back in the States where I lived, Pennsylvania didn't have a helmet law, and it was ride at your own, ride at your own risk. It was up to the individual, but here there is a helmet law, so make sure you wear your helmet. But like I said, a lot of people come here on vacation, ride the scooters, rent the scooters, ride around, and you should know some of the what your rights are here when being pulled over. Back in the States, where I'm from, you get pulled over, and you kind of know what your rights are, what your rights aren't, or at least some of us do. But here in the Philippines, I just want to go over a few things. Another thing, if you get pulled over by a traffic enforcer here, don't get into an argument, don't scream and holler and yell at them, don't get in their face, because you know what, you could get another fine on top of the fine you're going to receive. I think they call it a discourtesy. It's considered a violation as well. So in other words, if you're showing you're not showing courtesy and respect, they can fine you another, I think it's 150 pesos on top of the fine they give you. But anyways, let me go over this here. Now, I'm just reading this here off of the big internet. I did a big Google search on it to find out, and this is what I'm reading. I'm reading this off of the internet here. It says you have the right to withhold your license until the traffic enforcer tells you the specific reason why he's confiscating it, and your ticket validity. Yeah, validity. In other words, you don't have to give up your license to them. They have to tell you why they're pulling you over, what they're ticketing you for, and even there, you still don't have to give up your license. I was told this, matter of fact, Luke told me it. Like, you don't have to give them your driver's license. What they will do instead is they'll just go down and write your plate number down. So you do not have to give your driver's license to them. You have the right to say no when an officer asks you to step out of your car. So yeah, you have the right to say no if they ask you to step out of your car. You have the right to tell them stop ganging up on you. In other words, they're not allowed to come at you. Usually when they have these set up points, I think there was 4 traffic enforcers there. One was on Lut's side, and Lut was talking to that person. The other traffic enforcer was on my side, and I was talking to her, and the other 2 were kind of like out front, kind of away from everything. But they're not allowed to gang up on you. They can't come up on you and harass you or whatever. They're not allowed to gang up on you. So yeah, keep that in mind. From what I'm reading, one is supposed to handle the whole process of why they pulled you over. You have the right to ask for their mission orders. In other words, they have mission orders that are given to them by the MMDA Central Administration. And their mission orders contain the area of responsibility, what area they're supposed to be in, the time of duty, official function, and whether they're authorized to issue tickets. In other words, you can ask them for that. and they're supposed to be in that specific area they're in. If their mission order state they're supposed to be in another barangay over and they're there, well then technically they're wrong. And of course, if they're not there when their mission order says time-wise that they're supposed to be there and the time's not right, they're wrong too. So yeah, you are allowed to ask them for what they call mission orders. You have the right to question why you're being apprehended by the traffic enforcer, and or even refuse to give up your driver's license, especially if, all right, like I said, you don't have to give up your driver's license. So they're saying here, if you were not involved in a traffic accident, you have not accumulated 3 or more unsettled violations, and you haven't violated any of these traffic laws. And then it goes listing all these different traffic laws. A lot of them that I'm reading have to do with like taxis and buses and things like that. Overspeeding, out of line operation, no driver's ID, illegal transfer of plates and tags. In other words, if you didn't transfer your plates from one car to another, or tags or stickers. What else here? Flagging up in meters. See, a lot of these have to do with taxis. Like fake altered ceiling wires, fake driver's license, driving against traffic, broken taxi meters. So it lists some here, but like I said, a lot of them have to do with taxis and buses, allowing other persons to use your driver's license. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to give up your license if you were involved in a traffic accident. Now, when the motorcycle ran in front of me a few months ago, I gave up my license. When I got my ticket in Manila, I gave up my license. What else? When I got rear-ended by the jeepney, I didn't give up my license, but I showed them my license in the police station to show that it was validated. Plus, it was an accident. So yeah, technically, I didn't have to give up my license. So, anyways, next one, you have the right to say no when they hint of traffic bribes from you. That's a big one, guys. We all know how that works here sometimes. I was told though down in Manila, like, they're really cracking down on that. People offering bribes to get out of the ticket. You know, you do that, and say the traffic enforcer is, you know, honest and doing their job 100%, is not looking for that little extra money to line their pockets. They could get you on a bribe, and guess what? Now you got to deal with paying more out of your pocket. Does it happen here? Sure, it happens here. It happens all over the Philippines. People paying what I call the roadside ticket. You're paying your fine alongside the road. So I guess if they are telling you, hey, listen, you give me money and we'll wipe this one clean, you can say no. Or, well, at that point in time, it's your choice whether or not you want to pay that roadside fine, or just take the fine and move on. My fine was 500 pesos. I know what the roadside fines run, and so anyways, if you want to know what the roadside fines run, well, it's up to the individual paying the roadside fine. Okay. When giving your TVR, traffic violation receipt, you have the right to complain to the officer why they're not issuing this to you in proper uniform and visible nameplate. That was one of the things I noticed. They were professionally dressed. They looked professional. I've seen some up here in Angeles and Daul, and for real, they're let's put it this way, they're almost like an embarrassment. You know, their clothes weren't properly dressed. They didn't look professional, but they were very professional looking. The uniform was sharp, name tag, ID badge. They were wearing their cap. Their uniform was pressed. They were very sharp. They were very professional looking. So yes, they are supposed to be in their proper uniform and their visible nameplate. So yeah, I mean, they should be. And like I said, down there where I was stopped, they were very professional and they looked very professional. You have the right to present any of the following as a valid driver's license: ID plastic card, a DLR, which is a temporary driver's license, a TOP, which is a temporary operator's permit, an international driver's license, or a foreign license. Now here I'm going to tell you this story right now. I had a subscriber just the other day stop and say he was pulled over, didn't have a helmet on. So he said, you know what, I'll take that one, it was a helmet. He showed them his international driver's license. Now this was up here in Angeles. They told him that was not valid. So I asked him, I said, was it current? Had it expired? He said, no, it was current and it was good. They told him it was no good. He couldn't drive on it. Then they asked him for his passport. And he said, well, I don't have my passport. They said, well, where is it? He said, it's back in my apartment. They followed him all the way back to his apartment. Now, they are not allowed to do that. They are not allowed to say, hey, we'll follow you. We want to go see your passport. Because they didn't pull you over to check your passport. They pulled you over for a violation. If anything, they could have gave him a violation for not having a helmet and a violation for not having his, what they want to say, a proper driver's license. They cannot follow you back to where you live and ask for your passport. But he didn't know. He didn't know these things. And then after a while, he figured out what was going on. They were trying to squeeze money out of him. And then he knew it. And he told him, no, I'm not giving you no money. Give me my ticket. And that's what they did. They gave him his ticket. But they could not follow him back. And but yeah, they did that. But these are the things that they're saying that they accept as a valid driver's license. So let's see what else. You have the right to ask for the name of the traffic enforcer and submit a letter of complaint in case the traffic enforcer has violated any of the rights mentioned here. In other words, the rights that I just went over. You should address it to the traffic adjacent board, TAB, within 5 days after the apprehension. In case of the two of you, in other words, the two of you being pulled over and the enforcer get into a heated argument, you have the right to call the MMDA hotline. And then they list the hotline here. You also have the right to email your complaints against the erring traffic enforcer to the MMDA through email. Email at mmda.gov.ph. You are required to include full details of the incident, including photos and videos whenever possible, so they can attend promptly at the matter. Those are just some of the, this is what I'm reading is what your rights are here. The do's and don'ts, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what your rights are. Let's see. You can also visit the MMDA site to know more about your rights. And that's the thing here. There are different violations here. Some are just minor violations. Helmets, driving in the wrong lane, parking. They're minor violations. Your fines are not very big, but there's violations here that do require that will result in suspension of licenses. There's a few of them, and they accumulate until they get them suspended for like a month, 6 months, a year. So there are bigger violations here. But you know what, guys, remember, if you get pulled over, you know what, these people are just doing their job. Like I said, these people down in Manila are very professional, very nice. They're just doing their job. No need to scream and holler and yell at them, you know, because, you know, let's face it, they're not getting paid a ton of money. You know, they're getting paid money enough to survive here in the Philippines, but us as foreigners coming in, just respect them. You can voice your case to them, but in a calm manner. No need to scream, no need to holler, no need to yell at them. It's not going to do you any good. If anything, you could get that extra, I think it's 150 pesos added on to whatever fine you got. But anyways, like I said, figured I'd take the time to go over this, to share this with you, because like I said, I know people come here and rent motorbikes and ride around. And like I had said in the past, according to the law here, you are supposed to have a motorcycle endorsement on your driver's license. According to the law here. So if you don't, technically they could also get you for that. So anyways, there it is. I figured I'd put it out there. I'd share it with you guys. Like I said, I'm reading this off of a website that I'm reading here. And if you want to know more, go to the MMDA website here in the Philippines, and you can find out more from there. So anyways, guys, I hope this helped out a little bit, and we'll see you guys later.